Hello, hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here with Patriot 6. Very, very hot Friday afternoon. Uh, had to do an afternoon show because my grandson lost last night, so he plays tonight at 7:30. Do have some news, but not a lot. Do a little question and answers if everything goes well. And that last night, I didn't get my play-by-play from Marianne for the Bruce call because she lost power. They had a very, very bad storm. Hi, Janet. Good to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge and play the music, and then we'll be right back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as love is land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm ready to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no town of this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless
Hi, Janet, Jana, Richard, Justin, Vicky. How's everyone doing today? As I said when I first came on the show today, this is a surprise doing a early call today because my grandson lost last night, so he plays tonight at 7:30. I was thinking about doing a 6 o'clock, and I got thinking, let's just get her done so we can all sit back and enjoy the weekend. Hi, Larry. So I am proud to be an American. I do feel I have freedoms. Are they the freedoms 100% that we want? No, but they're still pretty good. And I'm going to dive into that in a little bit, but I just wanted to address the children. Guys, it's really, really hot here again today. And the way the weather is, my grandson's game last night, Patriots 7, his game got canceled for a half an hour because of lightning. No rain, lightning. So we had to stand around for a half an hour. And there was the most beautiful, going from the total south to the total north, most beautiful, what do they call? Rainbows. Like 5 different colors. Hi, Robert. And there was not even any rain, but we had a beautiful rainbow. For the rest of the game, it was still there at the end of the game, and we didn't get rain. Where Mary Ann lives, oh my God, Janet, eat it quickly, baby. Eat it quickly. It's so hot where Janet is her ice cream is melting. I got ice in my glass here, Janet, and it's the same thing here. My ice is melting. Kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West on Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. I'm melting. Good to see Ron on. Richard's here. So he lost last night, so we're doing the show early. And I will be talking about, hi Sharon, Becky, good to see you. Thank you for that amazing GIF today. Sharon sends me a GIF every day. How are you feeling, sweetie? But I will talk about leaving the game last night, the incident that I run into, and I was a good boy. I was. Scout's honor, I was a good boy. So Patriot Super Jimmy, we hope everything is good, getting better. Patriot 11, still missing you. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. I hope you're not driving mom nuts. She's probably happy she's working now with you guys home for the summer. But anyway, no, she loves you boys tremendously. Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. How's the ball season going, Princess? I'm very, very proud of Patriot 7, who made the All-Star team. Last night he had 2 at-bats, and he walked both times. He got called out at third on a play where you could see the kid never touched him. I mean, it was so obvious, but I yelled. But I yell a lot. An umpire looked at me and said, you know, if you can do better, come out here. I said, they're not paying me, they're paying you. And I did it for 25 years. I did a lot better than you do. Well, you know, you're not supposed to yell at the umpires, this man says. And I said, you know what? Then make the right call. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's what my mom always told me. But see, not only was our stove that we cooked on in a kitchen, our stove that heated the house was in the kitchen too. So you wanted to stay in there because you love the heat, especially in the winter. Ron, Sharon says she hopes you are feeling good.
That's what I just asked her.
Oh. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You asked her. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. My bad. Hey, Robert, good to see you here, buddy. How's weather where you're at? You getting hot? You know, you listen to Wolvie and it's cold there. I'd still rather have the hot. I made a comment the other day to someone. One of my goals, someone said something about traveling, and I said one of my goals is to go watch our princess, our queen, play softball one day. And someday I'm going to make it. Might not be this year, probably won't be, but next year, maybe I'll fly in on my private jet or my jet helicopter. You ever see a jet helicopter? I used to work for a company called Gold Battery, kids. and they had a jet helicopter. You got to remember, the company's been closed down for 20 years. This was 20 years before that they brought it in. You was working there at the time, wasn't you, Ron?
I don't know.
They brought a jet helicopter and they parked it in our
I might have been there.
parking lot. And it was so cool. We got to go out and look at it. Man, it was neat. I like helicopters. Never been in one. I like watching. I used to like Susie Q. Good to see you. Vicky's here. No trolls so far today, huh? I don't think Ella's going to be here. I was not able to get in touch with her. She might be here. She might stumble upon. But she says to me, she says, you know, Papa, I really like going on there because everybody on here is so nice to me. So thank you. I got a message from Mike yesterday or today, and it was a picture showing me a picture of little Leona in her little outfit in the house because it's too hot outside. It's too hot. Little Leilani, I just seen a picture of her on my Facebook page. She had a picture taken with her new sister, Leonie. Not Leona, Leonie. I guess they wanted to name the baby after my mom also because that would have been her great aunt. Hi, Carol. Vicky, have I said hi to you yet? If I haven't, hello. Do we have any birthdays today? Anybody need prayer? Hi, Carol. But, yep, little Leona was all decked out in her little cute outfit and just enjoying inside the air conditioning. Now, Mike took the picture. So where do you think he was? I didn't hear him say, well, I like the heat, Ralph. I'm outside. Macho, man. You know. Oh, UPS is running. Hey, Ella. I was just talking about you. Good to see you. Okay, look out now, trolls. Janet and Ella's on board. Zoom, zoom, zoom. 7:30 tonight, right, Ella? What's that? Then you have Boogie, Bugs, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. John's always sending me pictures, and I love each and every one. Okay, thank you, babe. Now, I have to tell you, that concludes the children. This video is not made for children unless you have the permission from your parents, grandparents, legal guardians. The music we used in today's show is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. And I have to say that so we don't get in trouble. I've already told you about the incident where they said Liam was out at hey, Vicky, out at third last night. And I mean, he missed the tag by that much. I mean, if it would have been that much okay, maybe even that much okay. But he missed a couple by that much. But it is what it is. And the boys didn't play well anyway. Hopefully they'll bounce back and play a lot better tonight. Thank you, Janet, for that. Ella, did you see that? Janet would like you to tell Liam good luck tonight. Thank you. But then I had an incident after the game. I was wearing my hat. The same hat as I got on right now, and I'm walking to my car. I'm being a very good guy. I'm not harassing anybody. Hi, Stephanie. And I'm just walking, and I'm just, just kind of in my own little world. Lady walks by me. She was there to root for the team that was going to play next. She walks by me and she says, I hate your hat. I never said nothing. She said, I hate your hat. I said, okay. And I kept walking. And she says, "You ain't got nothing to say?" I said, "Not really." She says, "That's the trouble with you people. You want to wear stuff like that, but then you don't want to defend it." And I said, "Okay, you want me to defend it? I'll defend it. I'm proud to be an American. I'm free. You're walking here today to go to this game because you have freedom, because of the people who are proud to be an American. And if you're not proud to be an American, why don't you get your ugly ass out of our country? There's plenty of people that will drive you to the airport and let you go." She said, "If my husband was here, I'd have him kick your ass." Whoa. I said, "Ma'am, I take you to be in your 30s, middle 30s, late 30s. Maybe you might tip the scale at 40, but I don't think you're very old. So unless you just married an old man like me, your husband could kick my ass. But if he does, he's in a lose-lose situation, because if I land one lucky punch and I put him to the ground, and I guarantee you, where he goes pee is where my first punch is going if he comes after me. And if I land that one lucky punch and he goes down like a sack of bricks," I said, "He lost to a 71-year-old man. If he beats me up because he's got to defend your honor," I said, "if he does that," I said, "we're in a situation. This lady right here, she's getting ready to call 911 on you right now for you harassing me. I've done nothing wrong. I tried to ignore you, but you had to keep this elevated." And I got thinking, maybe I don't go to the game tonight because I don't want to cause any more problems. But I'm not only going to go. Wait till you see the shirt I wear. I'll post it. I'll take a picture of myself. I'm going to go very, very, very patriotic tonight. What do you like that idea, don't you, Susie Q? John, it's good to see you here. We've been talking about you. All good though, John. Nothing bad. Someone asked me the other day, if you was to die, who would you want to come back as? And I said, John. So he got great kids. I would never want to come back as a woman. I don't know. I like being a man. I don't see why these men want to be women. But, I did see something, and that concludes our version of the kids. But
Janet said he would get arrested.
yeah, well, being arrested. Two of the police officers in the town where I was in last night, one of them, I give a hat just like this. He was driving by Ron's house one day because he comes over and patrols our little town. And he's driving by and he stopped and he said, "Man, I love that hat." I said, "You do?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Hold on a minute." I run into Ron's house. I grabbed a hat and I took it out and I give it to him. He said, "Really?" "Yeah." Then I locked my keys in my car. About a month later, I called and he come over and he seen who it was. Him and my son, we'd have got the keys out of the car a lot quicker if him and my son wasn't talking about how much they both liked me. I didn't know my son liked me so much. But, and then there's a girl police officer over there that if I get drinking, she likes to give me rides home. But not only does she give me a ride home, she comes the next morning and picks me up so I can go back over to that town and get my car. She don't want me driving. But it is what it is, and I wanted to tell that story, guys, because I wanted to talk about the way people are. Proud, make America great again. I'm proud to be an American. What's wrong with that? If you don't like it, don't look at it. Just don't look at it. It beats the alternative. It was hot. The sun was hot last night. I could have took my hat off and stood like this, and then my head would have been burnt, and my head would be as red as my shirt now. And you guys would think, boy, he really goes all out for red on Friday. How many of you got red on today? Because red is the color that if you wear on Friday, it's supposed to symbolize you're supporting the troops. The greatest military force in the history of the world. But yet they can't round up these bad people and put an end to this. We can go against 5 or 6 countries and it takes 5 minutes for the war to be over. These bad people, we can't get anything. And these bad people are terrible. I did even mention that to this lady last night. I said, so you're in support of, and I mentioned names, Big Mike and his husband. I mentioned names like the guy who likes the girl to, kind of get in a position like where Wolvie lives down under. His wife who her dream was to be president, but she's an idiot. Well, I'm glad you got your nap, John. So, last night's history, it's gone. Okay. Tim, you're leaving us already. Thank you for coming on. 22 minutes we've been on. It will soon be 22 minutes and 22 seconds. So, let's just go into a little bit. Where are we at now? Well, Bruce said last night. That, how was it he put it? Tuesday night, he said he'll probably get some new information as soon as he gets off the phone, and he did. It's good information. Tier 3, Tier 4 access should happen this weekend. And see, the way Bruce talked last night, the way others have talked, there's a gentleman out there that I started following. Can't think of his name. Let me see if I can pull his name up. Telegram. Does any of you guys follow Mike Barrett Chat? Mike, last name Bara. I've been noticing recently a lot of the people have been sending me information from Mike Barrett, so I went there. Hi, Beth. Good to see you. And he has some good information. Thing of it is, you have to keep going in there because a lot of people post there. I mean, I was in there just before the show started, and already there's 134 more comments. But Bruce was very adamant last night about getting things done. He did say, and this is something that kind of bothers me because he did say, well, we're almost to the end of June. Well, gee, Bruce, we all know that. It's almost the end of June, and we're not going to get the Social Security raise this month, which we knew that. The last Wednesday's already gone by. But we should get it in July. You know what I'd like to say to all people who's talking about the Social Security? Let it just happen when it happens. Why worry about it? Because here's the whole thing about the Social Security. Number one, when our new president came in and he got this law passed, no taxes on tips. When he got these other couple laws passed about to help people save money. For the disabled, for the veterans, and for the senior citizens, he should have went right then and said, right now, this is what we're giving all senior citizens. All senior citizens, I don't care if this senior citizen over here worked 50 years, and this senior citizen over here worked 15 years for their pension, all senior citizens should get the same amount, $5,000 a month. That's my opinion. And we all know my feelings about opinions. He's friends with Mark Z. Okay. But $5,000 a month, because you don't know a person's situation. You don't know why they didn't work. But if they're old enough to draw, if they're disabled military veterans, or if they're just disabled, everyone should get paid. And you know what? Forget this. You're going to get paid on the first Wednesday. You're going to get paid on the second Wednesday. You're going to get paid on the third Wednesday. You know what? You send the checks out to everybody the first day of the month. That's what you do. Oh, and Mike Barras, there is a lot of complaining. I did notice that. But I look for some good stuff, and I've seen a little bit in there. I mean, okay, since we talked about Mike Barra, I want to talk about someone else. Is anybody here friends with Carolyn Levitt on Telegram? Anybody friends with Carolyn? Hi, Beth. I think I've told you hi 3 times, but what's wrong with the fourth? No, okay. Well, anybody that knows anything about me knows that I think Carolyn Levitt is the greatest press secretary that we've ever had. And I really, really liked Kayla McInerney. I guess I have a thing for blondes. For all that you that don't know, the girl that I write in the Ukraine is blonde. But anyway, I just had her pulled up here, but now I can't find her. Maybe I deleted her. I don't know. Didn't plan to, but if I can find her, just had her here. There it is. I'm going to be leaving her channel because, see, as amazing as she is, when you see her on TV, when you see her go toe-to-toe with these people, these fake news people, these Democrats, when you see her do that, man, she doesn't lose an argument. She puts them in their place, boom, just like that. Hi, Rocky Darnell. Bill Woods, good to see you. Vicky. She doesn't lose an argument, but I had a request to follow her, and I did on Telegram. And when I first did, I thought, wow, this is pretty good information. But there's a man out there that we call our president. On here, we call him the Hat. And I've seen several times videos of him where he says, anything dealing with selling coins, selling things that you can invest that has my name attached to it, I'm totally against that. They're not real. There's someone using my name. And I thought, okay, I don't buy any of it. I do have some. One of our people give me and Ron a couple. But we'll see what happens. But her last 2 posts, the Hat urges you to invest now. These are final moments. President the Hat, one DOGE coin is worth $85,000. And you can get it for $99. Wow. July 4th, Freedom Day. The exchange opens at Bank of America. Turn your Doge coins into millions. Now let me see. The President of the United States says he does not back any of this stuff. The same way as he does not back anybody who's taking money to do shows like this. Here's another one. Like I said, it was her last 2 posts that she's done so far. Breaking news, the hat Dogecoin will revive the American dream. Far too long, loyal American patriots have lived in a world of lies, corruption, and crushing debt. All while fake media, pardon me? Ron says, just get us on them beds and all of our dreams will come true. But now they're pushing this Dogecoin. You can buy it for $99 and it already has a value of $85,000. Now I'm going to pick out a person here, Bill Woods, Vicky, Susie Q. If I was to give you a phone call and I was to say, hey, this is, just give a name that you would know. And I'm calling you today because I have land, beautiful land that I'm willing to sell you today for $10 an acre. And this land is valued at $10,000 an acre. Would you jump on it and buy it? Or would you think something's a little bit fishy? You know, sometimes you don't have to have a fishing pole to realize something is very, very fishy. And that's what I think it is. I think it's a shame that they take and record her videos. They use her like she's the one talking. And with this, what is it called? AI, you can take anything and make it look like anything, and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to tell you, at your own discretion, if you choose you want to buy these coins, do it. Have fun. But the whole Carolyn Levitt page, as I'm scrolling up, 4, 5, the last 7 messages that she's put out there is all about the Doge coin. So I don't believe in it. So let's get into Bruce a little bit. Once again, all of the whales are on their way flying to Reno. You know, I kind of feel sorry for the whales because they spend so much money flying to Reno. As Ron said, they should buy a house, but how can they? They don't got their money yet. But if they're whales, you would think they
gotta be rich.
see. Here's another thing, as Ron said, if they're whales, they must be rich. So why are we worrying about taking care of the whales before we take care of the good people? Huh? Ron said that's the way it's always been, but it's always been that they steal from us, but we're putting a stop to that. Why can't we put a stop to it? You know what? I just want it done. But when I read that first thing on Carolyn Levitt, when I read that first thing on her, and it said $99 can get you $85,000 coin. Wow. That's pretty good, don't you think? Bill Woods, you think if you paid $99, they give you $85,000 back? And starting the 4th, you can get it? I don't believe it. But see, they're saying how these are the coins that's going to make us all wealthy. But then in the next breath, she'll come out and she'll say, everybody has their own account that has millions of dollars in it. Do these people that's trying to imitate but can't duplicate, do they ever think of how stupid they are? Correct, Gary. Correct. Bruce wasn't a bad call last night, but truthfully, we're expecting possibly tonight, tomorrow or Saturday, He's thinking we could get it done and be in appointments before the end of the month. He believes, and a lot of people believe this, and for the gentleman Gary who just said, so many people talk about what's going to happen and nobody knows what's going to happen because they only hear what's going to happen. Well, see, to an extent, Gary, you're right. But there is a few people that do know what's going to happen. It's not us. That's good, Beth. You are important. You're always welcome, and you are very important to us. Oh God, yes, Susie Q. A lot of these channels are fake, and that's why I'm pretty much going to go in and get rid of a lot of them. I mean, I don't need to have them messing up my Telegram site. I got you guys to get me the information. I like to sit back after Marianne gives me a play-by-play. Hi, Mike Davis. We were talking about you, buddy. So I'm going to see what Restored Republic has to say, and then I'm going to answer a few questions if you got them. If not, I'm going to go clean. My son's coming home today, and I've really cleaned my house. Ella, you need to come over to the house and see it. Because once Aunt Mandy gets home, it won't be clean. Ella and me have a relationship. You know what? I mentioned all the kids, but I didn't mention Super Gymnast Ella. I mentioned Patriots 7 in his ball games. Patriots Small Hank will be home later this afternoon or tonight. If he gets home early enough, I might want to see if he wants to go over and watch Liam's game, aka play with Addison in the playground. Kira will be home, and the little monkey. All I can say is she's a little monkey. Last night, Ella come up to me. She had one of her little friends, one of Liam's many little girlfriends, little girl named Addie. Cute as cute can be. It was all good, buddy. I never say anything, but I was talking about little Leona, the picture you sent me, how she's in the house enjoying the coolness and not outside in the heat. That's what I talked about you about. And then we also mentioned that you bought some of those coins of Trump, and you give me in round 1 or 2. All good, bud. No. Oh, you'll cook for me? Really? Anything I want? I think I showed you guys something, but I want to share it again if I can find it. For Father's Day, my daughter, my granddaughter, Ella, Addison, and my grandson and my son-in-law, they know I'm very patriotic. They know I like to cook out. This is what they give me, a grill, charcoal grill. So far, I've only used it once, but boy, I'm telling you, them steaks just melted. I was able to catch some steaks on sale. Well, I can even show you the steaks. So let me get back here where I'm supposed to be. Okay, this is Judy Bidington, President JFK. The rights of people come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. What began in 1776 with ink and courage is now being completed in 2025. The truth is no longer hidden. In 1871, while America was broken by civil war and drowning in debt and foreign alliance, and European bankers struck a deal with Congress, financial rescue in exchange for full administration control of the United States corporation. Since then, every president except a few served as CEO of the corporation, not as actual presidents. By 1933, the U.S. declared bankruptcy. They infiltrated schools, media, and government. They rewrote history. They told you America was a democracy, not a constitutional republic. But now the veil is lifting. The Hat's Second Declaration is a formal rejection of every foreign claim on America's soil, labor, and destiny. This isn't about left or right. It's about freedom or slavery. The theft of 1871 is being reversed. America is not a corporation. America is a nation of free, sovereign people under God. The Republic has returned to make America great again. At 5:05 Eastern Time, final confirmation codes were transmitted through the QFA lattice to secure Trinity of nodes from Mount Cheyenne State, Petersburg to ULURU reported zero interference. The system is sealed. The future is locked. The banks you once feared gone. Documents classified at GITMO confirm that the United States has been operating under emergency military governance since 2021. The Hat never left. He entered a higher command. Now the real republic is returning. Every major capital is on alert, while London, the Vatican, and Brussels have been stripped of their diplomatic shields. Special forces are moving in under EBS cover. The age of deception has collapsed. The age of sovereignty has risen. Welcome to the other side of the storm. As of June 25th, 2025, Operation White Swan has officially entered its final and most aggressive phase. Big G implementation is accelerating with military precision. They have freezed over 89 trillion of illicit deep state holdings. Meanwhile, LA has become a flashpoint. Cartel enforcers disguised as asylum seekers were pre-positioned across sanctuary quarters weeks in advance. In response to over 4,000 Marines and National Guards troops have deployed, military airspace is sealed. That's pretty much it for her. I think she did. The Hat's mission was never reform, it was removal. The day has come. As of June 26, 2025, the IRS is officially being dismantled. Behind the scenes, a new financial structure has already replaced the old one. 3 IRS executives resigned quietly last week. 12,000 high net worth taxpayer accounts coded. The Hat is not just unshackling American workers, he's collapsing the entire infrastructure of financial enslavement. If you make under 150,000 per year, your chances are being broken. The IRS was their eyes, their teeth, their weapon, and now it's gone. June 26, 2025, the IRS died, and with it, the old world began to fall. Interest on credit debt linked to fiat currency being erased. Income tax elimination and switch back to tariff-based income. The Quantum Access Card is legally recognized for citizens' access to QFS. Special bed centers are protected nationally by RFK Jr. Scientific Advisory Board. The bill contains the authority to remove people from unelected organizations like DOJ, CDC, and DHS, weather warfare patents, HAARP, chemtrails, and solar systems have been declassified. Foreign agents are swarming to D.C. The 4th of July is not symbolic day. It's a deadline set by law. At this point, the restoration of the Republic is irrevocable. After the dissolution of the foreign-controlled U.S. corporation in 1871, the Constitution Organic Republic regains its authority. The system is not reformed by the Hat Bill. The parasites is eliminated. The last phase is active. The Hat will not wait. He already has taken back control, and consequences won't be concealed. This time it will be broadcast on television. It's a lot of news, guys. A lot of news. So that's pretty much all I got. We're at the 46-minute mark. If you want, I will try to answer questions if you have them. If not, I'm going to go back to my cleaning. Actually, I need to go take a really good shower. But for all of you that wished Liam good luck tonight, thank you. For all of you who didn't, why? Just joking. You know, I thought I did a good show. Well, I got 27 likes. You know, I think this time of day is kind of an in-between time. We did that show the other day when Ella was on there, and we got over 2,200 views.
You dead?
No, I'm still talking. I think Ron fell asleep on me. He just looked at me and asked me if I was done as I was talking to you guys. Yeah, that is true, Bill. Everything has to go through it, but his people run both houses, so it should be boom boom. You know, what people have to decide, and this is just my opinion, but what people have to decide is, do you want to make America great again? You know, and I'm going to give a little scenario here. For those people who say, if this happens, if this happens, if this man's elected. Thank you, Mike. For those people who say, if he's elected, I'm leaving the country. Would you quit lying to us? We get enough lies through trying to see what's going on. But the main purpose of this show, guys, is bring people together as a family. You know, Janet, is Ella still on too? My mods. John, you're here. Mike, you're here. Have you guys had to take anybody out today? Man, I'm telling you, the other day, when I did the show over at my daughter's house, I seen just like that, like 8 or 9. In a matter of like 2 or 3 seconds, got taken out, put in timeout. And I looked at Ella and I said, boy, you and Janet are really taking them out today. She looked at me and she said, Papa, Janet took them all out. How? She got a little Tommy gun. Remember the Tommy guns? What was that show? Elliot Ness? What was that show? Elliot Ness? The Untouchables. Man, them guns that they had in there, they fire 100 rounds off. And you didn't even know they hit the trigger. Oh, she's not on? You know what? She's probably out. This kid, love her with all my heart. But right now, she is so in to her gymnastics. She's practicing right now to do a handstand. And out of the handstand, she's going to do the splits. And I said, you got to be joking. Well, thank you, John. That's very nice for you to say. And you guys, that's all I do. Sometimes I do come on here and I'm a little aggravated. I couldn't wait. As a matter of fact, the story I told you about the lady last night not liking my hat. When I told Ron the story last night when I came here after the game, he looked at me and said, "You got to tell that on the show tomorrow." Corruption everywhere. No, not everywhere. None in my living room here, Ron's living room. Thank you, Susie Q. Yes, boy, fast is not the word, Janet. Janet says her fingers are fast. But you know, Janet, I got to tell you a quick story, and I know you're going to get a joke out of this. But as I'm preparing a show over at my daughter's house, and Ella is right there next to me, I'm telling you, she has got her fingers just ready so she can type in the first message and beat you on. And it is so, it really, she might even have the message typed up where all she has to do is hit the button. But it's so funny because she looks at me and she says, "I just love Janet. But I got to beat her on. I got to beat her on. What's fishy?" But could you believe, Janet? Could you believe all of the disrespectful people we had on the other day? But you know what I thought was funny? All of the disrespectful people we had on. We had over 2,200 views the last time I checked. Yes, God, please hear our prayers and heal the sick and the world. Ron was telling me, I wanted to talk about this, the special beds. Ron was telling me yesterday that when we go to the Redemption Center, that we're going to be able to give them a list of 10 people that we want to go on the beds. We give them a list of 10. So what I'm going to suggest to everybody is start making a list of 10 people. But don't just put them on because you want them to go on. Don't waste a spot because you want them to go on. Talk to them and say, "Look, I don't care if you believe me or not. I'm making a list." And I'm gonna just, what's that? I'm gonna just give an illustration. I'm gonna make a list. Ron, do you want to be on my list?
Do I have to really answer that?
Well, yes, because I'm giving an illustration to the people. Yes, he says he really wants to be on the list.
I want to be first.
I'm gonna go to my brother Russ and his wife. Do you want to be on the list? And I will explain it to them. I'm going to go to my sister. I'm going to go to my 2 kids and their loved ones to see if they want to be on it. I'm going to go to the people that I want to help. But I'm not going to sit there and take no crap. I don't hide the fact that I don't have much hair on my head. But according to what I'm reading and listening to, that will all change when I get off. I will have a whole head of hair. It will also get you to lose weight right while you're on there. It will make you feel 10 to 15 years younger right then and there. It tells you that you can live 200, maybe 400. Your eye vision will be perfect. Your whole system will be great once you go through step 1 and step 2. Step 1, you will just feel like 15 to 20 years younger. And you will actually start looking at. Now, we all age and we all get older. And I've talked to people who I know what they looked like when they was 27, 28, 29, 30 years old. And I know that they're my age now, and I see what they look like. And I said, I look at them and say, how come you got old, but I didn't? And if it's a woman, I usually get a boom. You know. So you kind of, when I did that, it kind of reminds me. I was telling you, me and Ella, we like to tell jokes, and I wanted to tell her this joke, but I'll tell it to you guys. Man and a lady. A man looks at the lady, and the lady says, the man says, when you die, I'm just going to look at everybody. I can't tell that joke. I can't tell that joke because it is kind of naughty, and we keep it clean for the kids.
We'll have our meeting.
Janet, I save so much money on shampoo. Yes, I do. And see, I think that's what makes me who I am, because I've never let being bald bother me. But, then I do have stories about being bald. And my nephew was going to get married, and me and Ron went golfing. We're coming back from golfing. He said, let's go here to eat. I said, wait a minute, right there's a place to get my hair cut. Ron kind of looked at me and said, all I got is on the side, What hair are you going to get? He was nice. He didn't say, what hair are you going to get cut? I go in there and I get talking to the guy. Man's name is Joe. And I said, Joe, I'm interested in a hairpiece. And he put a couple on me. It made me look 20 years younger. And I said, I want one. I didn't care what it cost. And they really weren't that expensive. So I'm in my nephew's wedding. So was Ron. We're groomsmen. We got our tuxes on. And I show up the day of the wedding. Nobody had seen me until the day of the wedding. I show up with a full head of hair. And I think I stole their thunder from the wedding. There was a 17-year-old girl there that was fighting with her boyfriend. My ex-wife didn't want to have nothing to do with me. I spent pretty much the whole night dancing and just entertaining the 17-year-old girl. The thing that upset me is the other one, the sister, who was her twin. She had her boyfriend there. But you have fun, guys. You make fun. If you can make fun of yourself, nobody can ever get to you. And I can. I have no trouble. Yes, I knew these girls. They was like nieces to me. They was like nieces. The two boyfriends, my nephew, and a couple of others used to come down here to Ron's all the time. Ron's house was kind of like their hangout. Well, Sarita, I'm glad I took our messages. Excuse me, I got ice in my mouth. Janet, my ice melted in my mouth. But I'm glad I talked a little bit, Sarita, so you can make it. But you're going to want to go back because this show was amazing. Oh, Ella's back on? Myrna, are you on? I didn't see Myrna. Myrna's probably working. So I'm going to ask a simple question before we get ready to go, because I'm going to stay on for about 5 more minutes, guys. I'm going to ask one question. A lot of people out there say money is the root of all evil. A lot of people say money doesn't really matter. But did you ever notice the people who have money, they're never the ones that say money doesn't matter? And I believe if you don't control yourself, money can be the root of all evil. But I didn't realize we had Tiny Tim on here. Oh, never mind. That's Janet. I seen Janet say, God bless everyone. And I picture Tiny Tim sitting in the movie, The Scrooge. I'm just teasing you, Janet. But No, if you guys don't mind, Sarita, Janet, Bill, John, Mac. Oh, Mac, did I say hi to you, Mac? If I didn't, I will now. Hi, John. Hi, Mac. Mike Davis. Anybody who's on here. Forget the money. You're going to get it. What is the one thing that you want to see accomplished with what's going to happen? That's a good one, John. John said, money is a kind of energy. Even rivers have banks. I never thought of that. Herman is here. Herman. Herman, I'd rather have more than less. So would I, Herman. Okay. Michael James, welcome to the show. Hi, Vicky. Michael James says, hello, Ralph and Ron. Where is the money? When do you think we're going to get our money, buddy? Okay. The money is there. It's just waiting to be either going to a redemption center. If you have currency, it's to go to a redemption center or a bank for the quantum financial money. The money is there. You have an account. You just have not seen it. You are a millionaire, sir. Everyone here on this show is classified that way. When do I think we're going to get it? My heart says by or before 4th of July. My disappointment of all the times we've been had it rammed up our rimrod is not sure. But I can promise you this. I really and truthfully believe in all my heart, and I wrote this to the girl in Ukraine last night, that by the 4th of July, see, that was our goal date for me to have her here, was the 4th. Actually, the goal date was tomorrow night. Today's Friday. Yeah, tomorrow night, Saturday. She wanted to be here tomorrow night so we could go to the little monkey's golden birthday party. Her birthday was May 5th, but they're having her party tomorrow. July is a huge month. Where'd you have to go? I'll see you tonight, sweetie. Don't tell any of the rest of my grandkids this, but that little girl there, she's got my whole heart. The rest of them's only got 95% of it. Oh, gee, that must have been a real hard job, right? Why isn't Addison taking a nap? Liam resting up? But there's nothing this little girl wouldn't do for anybody. But I am prejudiced. John, you got grandkids like that, don't you? But no, just think about it, guys. What is the one thing that you want? Myself, I want to be healthy. I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'm going to say something here, and this is not bragging. This is just something that me and Ron, we give up. Because we wanted to be able to put ourselves in a position. And Mike Davis has something to do with this too. But we wanted to be able to put ourselves in a position that we can help anybody in the world, anytime, anywhere. Because there's going to be people that they're going to get their money that they have in their account, making them, millionaires. And I would like to see some way that they could freeze the account to an extent where they, say you get $12 million. I don't want to see someone go through $12 million in 12 months.
You're not going to see everybody in the world get that kind of money that we're going to get in the States.
Well, I'm not worried about the people in the world.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So if we're going to help people, we're going to be helping people probably in other nations.
As Ron said, the other countries might not get as much. I've heard we're all going to get pretty much the same, but I don't know. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, what I was talking about is last night I decided it's time to go in to our hiding place where we hide all of our currency and go through it. Well, truthfully, Mike sent me a message a while back and he said, Ralph, you need to look into this. And I did, and I bought more. Just happened to be Zimbabwe stuff. And then you kept hearing Wolverine talk about, what was it, golden bonds? Yellow dragon bonds. But did you know there's a purple dragon bond? There's another dragon bond. I bought them all. But me and Ron, we don't go out to drink. The other days he calls me and he says, hey, you need to come down here. We need to drink a beer. We didn't have any. We're gonna remedy that situation. Through this heat, we should have been having a root beer every now and then without the root. Yes, we need to get in a spirit. See, and here's the one thing. John, I believe exactly what you say, but also I want to say this. There's a lot of things going around by people that some people aren't going to be able to get on these beds because they have to be in a certain spiritual way. Now, I don't know.
But they do say they'll give you training.
But all I can tell you is if children going through what they went through down under, I guess is the easiest way to say it, that not without saying it. And the things that happened to them, the things they went through and everything, these beds can take them and clear their minds. There's no way these kids can go in there with a spiritual belief because, first of all, some of them were born into this. They know nothing more than what they went through. So they know nothing about God. They know nothing about the spiritual aspect of life. And it works for them. So as Ron was saying, for people that might be on the fence, there's going to be training that you can go through to get to where you need to get. I believe 100% that these beds are going to be there for everyone. Guys, we're at an hour and 10, and I got some things to do, and I really enjoy taking the time afterwards and doing the questions and answers. That's what I was just talking about. Thank you, Cindy. But I'm going to call it a week. I'm really and truthfully hoping that tomorrow when I go to the party that I just might get a call and say, oh, we need to do a quick call, and I'll just walk over by Grandma Bo and take my phone and we'll do an emergency call. I really hope that we get some good news, what they're talking about. But I want everyone to have a great, enjoyable, loving, peaceful, safe weekend. And with all the love from me and Ron, Patriot 5 and Patriot 6, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. See you tonight, Ella. Thank you all that joined us today. For all my moderators, Janet, John, Mike, Ella, and whoever else was here moderating, thank you for everything you do for us. But most of all, thank you to all of you for showing up and being part of Patriot 5 and